What up, son? What up? What up, man? Welcome to my channel, movie review, underrated, and I would like to talk to you about a movie that I've seen on my birthday, and I loved it when I watched it. I was a little disturbed, and it was a different horror film by A24. They are killing it, like I said. The Killing of a Sacred Deer, starring Colin Farrell, Nicole Kidman, and Barry Keoghan. It's about a surgeon who befriends with a teenager. This teenager, his dad, was a patient of Colin Farrell's character. Eventually, when Colin Farrell kind of finds that the kid is a little bit odd when he's hanging out with them, he notices things are starting to happen to his family. Where they're showing symptoms of being paralyzed from the waist down, not able to eat, and blood's coming out of their eyes. And it turns out that Barry Keoghan's character has put a curse on his family, and he's giving him an ultimatum that you need to sacrifice one of your families in order for the curse to be broken. And if you don't, everybody's gonna die. Your whole kids are gonna die. Your wife is gonna die. So when I watched this film, this movie is directed by the filmmaker Yogurt. I'm gonna call him Yogurt. Filmmaker who did The Lobster, and I really enjoyed The Lobster. I thought The Lobster was a very underrated romantic comedy. It's one of my favorite romantic comedies. Very dark for romantic comedies, but this is a very dark, hopeless horror film. Slow builds up in its horror. The movie is patient unraveling what is going on, and it doesn't really give you answers. Actually, it doesn't give you answers at all as to what or why exactly this is happening, but I'm assuming it's a curse. I think the film hints that it's a curse. The film doesn't go into the curse. Movie is ambiguous what's going on, how Barry Keoghan's character, I believe his character's name is Martin in the film, how his character basically unravels this vengeful supernatural curse on the family, and there's no explanation how he does it whatsoever. It's kind of implied that maybe, actually I think it's kind of hinted that he may have some sort of supernatural power, but again, the film doesn't really give you an answer about that. When I first watched the film, I was a little kind of surprised how the characters kind of acted. They were kind of emotionless, and this is kind of compared to the director's last film, The Lobster. I think that's his way of filmmaking, or his way of telling the story, where the characters express less emotion through some sort of event until something major really happens, where emotions really go sky high. Which I don't mind that at first. If that is the director's trademark, then I will respect it. This film doesn't have any gore, but it is more psychological, so it really dwells on character development. It really dwells on the question, can you sacrifice one of your family members or your loved ones to save another? And I would also have to say that this film really has probably one of the best cinematographies I've seen in a film, especially for a horror film. And unfortunately, this movie was underappreciated, but I mean, it's a very different and bizarre film. There are some weird scenes. There was one weird scene where Colin Farrell is trying to figure out why his son is not, they have to find results for his son being paralyzed. So what he ends up doing is he ends up forcing his son off his feet, out of a wheelchair to try to walk, and then he's wondering if his son's maybe telling a lie, that maybe he could be lying, because there's no evidence saying that they're sick or any results coming about their symptoms. So he ends up telling his son that, hey, he ended up saying something he ended up doing to his brother, I think, when he was a kid, or his dad, which was very, very weird. So I won't say what he said. So I hope I encourage you to go watch the movie. There is one intense scene in there which I really thought it was probably one of the best scenes in the movie, where Colin Farrell kidnaps Barry Keoghan, holds him in his basement, and threatens that if you don't stop what you're doing, I am going to kill you. And it almost goes to that level where he gets his gun and almost shoots at Barry Keoghan, and Barry Keoghan tries to make a point of what he's trying to tell Colin Farrell about killing his dad, which wasn't intentional. But I won't spoil the details exactly what he did when he did it. The movie doesn't show when he did it, but you could actually tell. I wouldn't say tell. I guess you could really kind of feel a little bit sympathy for Martin. I mean, he's doing what he's doing. What he's doing is very wickedly and evil. But you feel that this person, the villain, the antagonist, has a motivation, what he wants to do. You could relate to his motivation on what he wants to do, and maybe a little bit crazy, but you get what the guy is trying to do. And I think that's the most scariest part, where you understand the villain's motivation and what he's trying to do. And the movie does not have a happy resolution. I can tell you that. If you want to, and no cliche endings about how any, like a jump scare or something, none of that. It ends in a way which I totally did not see coming. Or actually I was anticipating it, but I didn't think the character was going to go forward with it. And I won't spoil I won't tell you exactly how it goes down, but it leads to that kind of ultimatum that Martin gives Colin Farrell. Performances here are good. This is one of the best cinematographies I've seen. A very underrated horror film, which it's not going to be for everybody, but I highly recommend it just to try to branch out if you're getting tired of some old cliche horror tropes. Again, this movie is slow paced. The cinematography reminds me a lot of Stanley Kubrick. You could tell the director was really influenced by Stanley Kubrick's work. It does have a feel of The Shining into it because of the cinematography and how the direction of the movie is kind of going. The music in this is very creepy. And what else should I say about this? I think maybe the movie could have. Well, I'm a little of a gore fan, so I mean, if they squeezed out a little bit of the gore, I would have been cool, just to feel more of a horror film. But this is more of a psychological horror, drama, thriller, and I'm glad that A24's work doesn't really follow the cliche routes of a typical slasher. They really want to try to invest a story into their horror films. So I highly recommend to give this a try. I'll probably give this out of 5 stars, 4 out of 5 stars. It does take a little bit of time to try to for the movie to get going, especially when things kind of start to happen slowly, and you kind of understand why. It doesn't reveal everything, why it's happening, or reason why. The movie doesn't explain that on purpose. It does that on purpose. If you like this video, please like this video and follow me through Stardust if you have a Stardust. I have more movie reviews there, more for the just all kinds of movies. But on this YouTube channel, I'm only doing underground. I'm only doing on this YouTube channel independent and foreign films. I might even do some anime films if I'm feeling the mood up for it. So like this video if you want to share, give a recommendation, and hopefully you watch my next video.